Oops.
Welcome, everyone, to the Holstein House podcast. I'm the West Virginia woman, Robin, of RobinHolstein.com and Holstein House, where my guests get a great night's sleep at a fair rate plus breakfast. This is a podcast that looks at society and culture issues affecting families in West Virginia and the United States, from food preparation and storage, gardening, home repairs, current events, and more. We'll go around the table and back in 60 minutes or less. So let's hang out and talk about
Yeah, I flubbed this one again this morning, you guys. Good morning, Mike. I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm glad to see you. Hope everything's going well in your part of the world. Um, I'm trying to, again, do, and I hope there's no echo over on Noster Nest. I don't hear one myself, but I may not. Sometimes you have to tell somebody. But I do have a Noster Nest going this morning. We'll see how that goes. The last time I tried it, it kind of locked my machine up. So if things start getting flaky, I will dump the Noster Nest because oops, why isn't that going? We're having trouble. I see. I went through with Rumble and I tried to fix that, and it it doesn't. Rumble just gives me fits. It really does. I was going to remove it because I couldn't put my I couldn't put that RMT thing in there, and I did it once, maybe twice, but I can't. When I set these up to pre ahead on Streamyard, it's like Rumble doesn't want to play nice. I'm glad to hear it, Philippine Nomad. We're having our monsoon season here in West Virginia. We've had rain almost every day for like 3 weeks, some amount of rain and the humidity. So, but we are, kind of within the range of a rainforest here in this part of the Appalachians. I do have a little bit of stuff to chat about. No, I probably can't do that. Um, I'm just poking around with stuff today. What are you into, Mike? Anything exciting? Like I said, I haven't seen you for a long time. Yeah, cold and wet. It's not cold here. It's pretty warm. It's in the 80s most days, lower 90s. I mean, there have been a couple days we hit 100, not 100, but upper 90s. But it's been fairly mild the last few days. Today, I want to just kind of we're just on Fridays. It's pretty unscripted. We catch up on things from the week here at Holstein House. Today, I kind of want to touch a little bit on fad diets and fad exercise routines, and um, answer questions if you have them on running a small B&B from your home or your small homestead. Some food preparation, storage questions and answers and stuff like that, and just share with you some of the stuff that we're doing here at Holstein House. And if you want to stay connected, you can go to robinholstein.com/contact for the contact page, and or find the contact link on the homepage there, and there'll be a list of everywhere you can find me. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on that, but I do also have a Telegraph group, so it's t.me/Holstein House if you want to check that out. I think I have it set for me to approve people because I've got some really, there's always those people. There's always those people. But for the easiest way, go to robinholstein.com and get to the contact page, and you'll find everything there. Mike says, nothing exciting but interesting with things in, around, and out of town. Well, share some of those interesting things, Mike, if you want to. You guys, and Ronaldo, I haven't seen Ronaldo in a long time either. I must really be boring you guys to tears. So, just in general, around the house here, Mr. Holstein's been off on vacation. It's a working vacation. He's been doing a lot here. He's done a lot with the Ramsey house, which is the house that we bought next door, which we thought maybe we could rehabilitate and rent. It's a huge house. It was 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and they were in the well, about the time the father of the lady that we bought it from was building an upstairs half bath. He either got sick and passed away or he passed away. I don't remember her parents. She's my father's age, and I don't remember her parents. Um, and I don't remember a lot of what was going on in that house. It's a really 70s home. I mean, the oranges and the browns and all of those uh, little vintage kind of things. And so we have a lot to do. The house can't be saved. There's extensive rot from burst pipes, and there's extensive termite damage, and we're gonna have to take it down. And he started some of that last week. There was an old. It kind of looked like the guy was trying to build a back porch, a closed back porch for all of his tools because he was a woodworker, and it just looked more like a shed. I mean, he didn't get any siding or anything on the outside of it, and it was rotting down as well. But Mr. Holstein got all that down and got the tools and things under that were salvageable under shelter, and got a lot of stuff taken to the landfill. So he's done a lot of work on that. This week hasn't been as much about that as doing some other little small things he needed to do, working on his car, which isn't small. He had to put it up on the lift and did oil change, and there was a belt change and um, fuel filter change, and I don't know what all else with that. And he's had a little downtime, which he's entitled to. And we haven't gone fishing, although keep saying I want to go fishing, and we keep not going fishing. But the rain, I don't want to go out in the rain for that. But he's done a lot with that. I have taken a lot of the things that were left in the kitchen, and this is dishes and plastics and stuff, and I got them all cleaned up. There was a very nice set of Corel dishware from the 70s, which the golden butterfly color, I think is what, or yellow butterfly. I think it was golden butterfly is what the pattern is. 2 complete sets of 4 um, dinner plates, salad plates, bowls, cups, and saucers. So a total of, for a 5-piece place sitting, there was a total of 8 of those. So, 40 pieces for that. Plus, there were 2 large serving bowls, 2 large serving platters, 2 different types of salt and pepper shakers, creamer and sugar bowls, gravy boats with plates, matching all of this the same pattern. I mean, and in pristine condition. So I put one set. I did offer one of the ladies that I'm connected with over on Telegram and through some of the other YouTube channels that I follow, Letty Lou. She asked me how much I wanted for the set because she has several of those pieces, and I told her, and it was out of her range because these are pristine, and we were going to have to arrange to meet. She has in-laws that live here in West Virginia, and we would have to arrange to meet, and because I don't want to ship them. And she wasn't able to get them, which I understand. You can't always, But I did get a buyer for them. He did pay for one full set, place setting. So 1 4-piece fake place. There's a gnat in here. I am so eat up with gnats in my house. It's crazy. And he has given me a substantial deposit buying that one set, but he thinks he wants it all. So he'll be here Sunday. He'll look at the rest of them Sunday. I gave him a price. He was agreeable to it. And I asked him, I said, do you really want me to pack this up for you? I mean, if it was me, I'd want to, because you don't know people, I'd want to see them. And he said, yeah, he'd rather see them. So I have those. They're still out, actually. But so the other things, there are those orange Tupperware containers, food containers, and the um, the round ones with the little Tupperware logo thingy on the front. So there's several sizes of those that I have to sell still yet. I do have those posted on Facebook Marketplace. I haven't gotten to bite on those yet. I might put them out on Noster. It depends. I just hate to get into shipping because it's so stupid. Shipping is so stupidly expensive that by the time you say to somebody, oh, give me $20 for whatever, and then it's another $20 for shipping. I mean, that's $40 for, that's just so dumb. And then folks kind of expect you to reduce your prices because of the shipping. So, oh, Mike, you say, well, see, I disconnected the Holstein House on Rumble, Mike, because it StreamYard said it wasn't connected. I don't know. Hopefully, there wasn't anybody else over there that got locked out or whatever. But you have to put like a maximum of 120-second video up to loop on it, and then you have to get that code. And it's not the same code every time. And if I just set up a stream for today, let's say I sit down here and set one up for noon, then I can set it up easier with Rumble. But when I set these on StreamYard in advance, it doesn't, it's like it just doesn't jive. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So we'll see what happens there. Traffic crazy lately with locals and tourists, even though this is the low season. This should be my busy season, but it's a little slower than normal. I'm blaming it on the weather. Blame it on the weather. I think Stevie Ray Vaughan did a song that had that phrase in it. Blame it on the weather. No, maybe it was, I don't know. Anyway, I like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Philippine Mike says, I like those vintage Corral. I found some at my aunt's house. We were cleaning up a few years back. We brought some over to our place and bought a few pieces as well. I kind of like Corral ware. I mean, I like the one. I mean, if you can put them in the microwave, to warm things up, I like them better. If you drop one and it shatters, I mean, it shatters. It splinters. You'll have fine little pieces of glass all over the place. It's kind of hard to do, but if you do it, it is terrible. It is terrible. Mike says Amazon has free shipping on select items to the Philippines, but import fees average 32%. Man, I mean that's crazy. Do you have are import fees in place of like sales taxes, or do you have sales taxes on top of that? I mean, it's great that the shipping is free, but are you going to get blasted with the taxes on it afterwards? It's just, I mean, I know I'm spoiled, because it may cost me 50 cents US to send a letter across the country. And, probably, it could be $10 to ship a small package across the country. And then but then when you're talking about shipping to another country, you've got additional freight and stuff and charges and boats and people and stuff. So I kind of get it, but still, it's just so crazy. Just so crazy. But I do have quite a bit of Tupperware type stuff to get rid of. And I won't hold on to it too long before I send it to Goodwill or Salvation Army. And I like Salvation Army better. I'm trying to also use our Methodist churches. Our Methodist church has a relationship with an organization called Heart and Hands. And I've been trying to help them a little more because I'm trying to get them a little more involved in our end of Valley with our church and some of the things up here. So it's all the same idea. You're donating to help other people. And, that's what I want to try to do, and try to help other people as best I can. And these are things that they're still usable. I have no use for them. I have no use for them. If I can get, $1 a piece out of them, fine. If not, I'll just drive them down there and they can get $2 a piece for them. Because sometimes Goodwill prices, when you're in the store, it's insane. It's insane on some of their housewares and stuff. We'll go down every so often. We'll take, an afternoon. Maybe we go out and eat lunch on a Saturday and something. We'll make a big swing through a lot of the thrift shops. And it's crazy, some of the prices some of those thrift shops have. Some of them are dirt cheap. They really are. Some of them don't. It's like they don't know what they have, and some of them really do know what they have. And I think I blame some of that on the television shows that where people say I bought this for $1 in a yard sale and I sold it for $100,000 because it was rare or something. People are always trying to do that. And those shows where they buy the storage buildings, storage units, and a lot of that's scripted and a lot of that's staged. But they buy these storage units and for $500, and this guy blew his $500, but this guy over here with his $500 made 20,000 when he sold his stuff. So I blame some of it on that. Value-added tax for local sales, but duty and import fees are unavoidable unless I start up a business in our local Freeport duty-free zones, Mike says. Value-added taxes are local sales tax. Yeah, I don't like that value-added tax. I read a little bit, Mike, about how that works. So if I, just for an example, very basic, elementary example, if I find a blackberry bush out in the wild and I take that seed and I plant it and I grow a blackberry bush. Now I have a blackberry bush and I have enough to make jelly, and I make jelly. Then I sell that jelly to Mike's restaurant. So there's a tax on me for the sale of that jelly. Okay. Then there's a tax on Mike for selling it at his restaurant. Well, that's not a good one because the value added, each step adds something to it. So the jars add to it, and the packaging adds to it. Unless I'm wrong, Mike, can you share? I'm not explaining it very well, but each step adds a little more tax to it. In the U.S., if you have a business, you can sell without taxes to another business if they're going to turn around and sell it and get taxes off of it. But it's for every new step or value that's added to the product, there's a tax added to it. And I don't have a really good way of explaining that. We have a lot of Japanese and Korean surplus items. Bargains are out there and usually good quality. In some European and Asian countries, have duty-free or VAT refunds to claim on exiting the countries. Yeah, we've got the airport here in, it's not here, it's in Charleston, West Virginia, and they've decided that they're now an international airport, which is dumb if you ask me. I don't see how in the world they managed to be an international airport. They have a duty-free in there. I haven't been through the duty-free since, I don't know the last time I flew. I think it was when I went to San Diego about 8 years ago. I don't like to fly. I do it if I have to, but I don't like it. So I have a lot of this. So there's some Tupperware. There's some other Tupperware that I have. I'm going to try to sell. Some of it I've set yesterday and matched up lids to containers and got and sorted out stuff that I've got all these. It's just like a lot of people. You have all these lids, no containers. That's where I'm at with that. So I'm going to be putting. I think I want to put those out. There's the community yard sale tomorrow. I think I'm going to put those things out in that. Um, there is a microwave. There's just so I'm going to be getting rid of that. And the other one I'm going to try to clean it up and sell. And there's a refrigerator that needs to be scrubbed up real good and sold. So we'll get that taken care of. And then I have the doghouse, the roof on the doghouse. The contractors stopped by yesterday again to measure again and decide where to start. Look at the yard, ask us some questions about getting truck ins for the debris and stuff into the yards. So time today, may not be today, it may be next week, but they're gonna be watching the weather, and there's a lot of stuff I've got to move in there as well. And so I've had that calendar closed because he was off and he was doing the work. The calendar for the Airbnb has been closed. The calendar for the AirBTC has been closed as well. And the direct book calendar has been closed so that we didn't have any guests coming in while we were trying to get this stuff done. Let's see. Oh, I talked about those. I did get, speaking of AirBTC, I'm using that. It's in beta. I did get an email from them this morning, early hours this morning, from AirBTC that they're trying to trying to move to the next stage of beta. I don't know if that's how you phrase that or not, but the they now have their terms, some of their terms updated. They have some information about us updated, and they're going to they're working on their payment system. And until you get a live booking through AirBTC, you won't know of any hiccups. So if you are considering booking with Holstein House and you go to airbtc.online and you look for Holstein House there, be sure and email me. Go to my website and email me so that I can be watching and we make sure that your payment is processed correctly. I do have a question into the folks over at AirBTC about the price displayed. So I'm on the US dollar here, except for that I want to, on these bookings through AirBTC, I want that to be through with Satoshis. I don't know what is on display in the field. Am I entering the US dollar amount, which I have set in there, or is that the Satoshi amount or the Bitcoin amount? I'm hoping they tell me it's the US dollar amount and it will automatically adjust based on the fluctuations of Bitcoin. I don't know the answer to that yet, so I only sent the email to them. This is the first direct communications I've gotten with them, other than the automatic, hey, you submitted a listing, thank you for submitting your listing, your listing's been approved kind of stuff. So we're going to see how that works out and test that system. I hope. So be sure, if you decide to use that, and I do encourage you to, I'd love you to use it. Make sure you reach out to me, and you can, got contact information in the description for today's broadcast. There's also contact information at robinholstein.com. There's a bunch of ways you can reach me. So I hope you will take advantage of all of that. The garden is kind of hanging. I don't think it likes where it is better than it likes where it was last year, but I don't think it's getting enough daylight. I think next year's garden, or I'm going to try a second garden here in the next few days. We had the extension folks over at our lunch and learn at the church, and we were talking about fall gardens in West Virginia. I haven't tried to do a second garden before. I think I'm going to try that this year. And so it's about time to start those seeds. And these are a lot of the things like the broccolis and the cabbages and some leaf lettuce. You could do head lettuce, but we were talking about leaf lettuce. Beets. I don't like beets. Yuck, beets. But some of the things like that we can probably get a second season out of because they like cooler weather. So I probably will move those containers for that garden a little more towards the house where they can get more sun um, in this time of the year, as because our days are already about 20 minutes shorter now um, than they were a few weeks ago. Obviously, everybody on this side of the equator is. Um, so we're entering we're we're heading our halfway point of the year. So now we're heading towards fall. And so those daylight hours are going to get shorter. And if they don't like where they're at now, they're not going to like it there that much more. And the reason I don't think they're getting enough daylight or sunlight is because specifically my tomatoes are still just sitting there green. They should really be reddening up. I'm getting a few changes of hue, changing into a little bit of red here and there, but I'm not getting the good harvest red ready to go because I don't eat green tomatoes. No, I don't eat green tomatoes. I don't fry them. I don't eat them. So the garden is happier where it is, but it's still not quite happy. So I do need to adjust that some more. And now the ducklings still look like we have 2 male and 2 female, and they're still not very well colored. They're still that really gray color, so don't know what we're gonna do with them. The females obviously will keep. The males, I really don't want to harvest them, but I probably will. Okay, let's see. The doghouse under roof. I think I already mentioned that I've got to move the stuff out of the back half of the doghouse to the front half of the doghouse. Oh, good morning, Hunter. I hope I didn't miss you very often. Very long ago, I was looking at my little notes there. I'm glad to see you. I haven't seen you for a while either. You're going to have to say hello more often, even if you watch them later. Everything going okay over there? Do you have a day off, Hunter, or are you just kind of goofing off and listening on your coffee break or your smoke break? Whichever one you're enjoying. I don't smoke anymore, so those of you guys who do, yeah, okay. Busy. I'm glad you're busy. We need to stay busy. Except we need time to rest and recuperate, but it's good to be busy. Busy hands keep the devils out of you. This idle hands, a devil workshop. Coffee has been finished. Mine has not. It's getting cold because I'm not just sitting here drinking it. But I'll be back on it here in a minute. I see that this is not streaming very well. It's kind of choppy. I think I'm going to have to dump the Noster nest. I think I'm going to have to let you go over there, Noster. So let me do that, you guys. Give me just a minute to end this over here. First off, I'll stop sharing to close the room. Give me a minute, you guys. I hear my ducks running around now. I'm sorry to take so long. I don't do this often. Oh, don't tell me I'm locked up. I was afraid of that when I... Okay, there's that. And I need to... leave there. One more. One more. I had a couple of windows open all over the place. Hanging out on a lift, 18-ish feet up, 102 at this top deck. No me gusta. Well, I'm sorry. It has to be a gorgeous view unless it's inside. How's your internet connectivity? I heard strange things going on all over the place lately. I don't have a lot of trouble with my internet. The internet itself. Mike's asking. This is a stick building, so I'm getting decent reception. Oh, I'm glad. My internet has been pretty good for the most part, even though the company that I have internet with, which now is Optimum, which used to be Suddenlink, usually is just gets bashed by people in other parts of of the county and the state. I don't know if it's big. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I just don't have that much trouble with mine. Every now and again, every now and again, we'll have it flake out, but ours has been pretty stable. Even with all of the junk I've got eating the Wi-Fi, the internet strength itself is on. I've got three things right here within my arm's reach. My phone kicks to Wi-Fi when I'm here at the house. I've got a desktop here. I've got this laptop I'm streaming here. Um, I have had my Kindle running YouTube because I run YouTube on my Kindle because it doesn't play the commercials in the middle of the show. It plays them at the beginning and the end, but not in the middle. And the TV upstairs streaming, the TV in the bedroom streams. When I run, we have XM radio, and well, I got it for his car, but every now and again I'll use the app and stream it through a Bluetooth speaker into the antique radio that we have upstairs. I don't have much trouble with it. I really don't. Um, but I've heard odd things here and there, Mike, about it. Um, I don't know. We have a friend in Charleston proper that he cuts grass for me over at the church and at my dad's, and he was here yesterday evening talking a little bit, and he fusses about his all the time. But I don't know if it's old lines maybe or the volume of people because the city of Charleston has about 48,000 people in it. I mean, between the city limits and where I'm at, it's probably a third of that. So I don't know. On both sides of our river and interstates and everything. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. If maybe our lines, our actual cable lines, are newer underground or what. I don't know. I haven't had a lot of trouble with it. Hunter, if you end up having to take off, I hope you have a great weekend, and say hello here or there, even if you're looking at something and we're not live. I know I'm kind of boring. Hopefully to get back to some of my videos and stuff. I haven't done a live video, or not a live video, but I haven't done like a demonstration video, a cooking video, or anything in a long time, and I'm ashamed of myself for that. But just life is crazy. It's crazy. Mike says, our building has 10 units with Wi-Fi. My wife is out of town this last week, and speed test is much lower since she left. Although we have 2 new tenants, but I test throughout the day. I don't know if maybe since it's a lot of Wi-Fi in the building, if it's your routers are old, maybe. My router can go to, is it 5G? I think it's 5G. Now, not all of my equipment can see it. Like this desktop I have over here is an older model. It can't see it. So I have my service split so that there's a 4G and a 5G. And 4G, this machine will see the 4G. The 4G is the guest room feed. So when we have company, they're on the 4G and not the 5. It also helps keep them. Well, I've got one of those VPNs too. So, and I put that in myself. I did have to contact them to set it up because I had some questions about making that split so that there was 2 different speeds. But it seems to work fine. I'm not having any complaints upstairs. And I think I have a laptop upstairs that I've got them all over the place so that I can sit there on my TV and work on it. And it's very similar to this one. And I have one that I have over at the church for Bible study. But and every now and again we do have issues, but it could be that your routers are just out of date. I'm assuming, Mike, that you don't own the building, so you don't have any control over the Wi-Fi routers. But if you do own the buildings, hey man, suck it up, buttercup, and put some better routers in there. I don't know if you can get a signal booster either. I've never fooled with those. We thought about it a couple times, but we never did go through with it because, with our phones we get signal just about anywhere we need. Here in the valley, now if I'm driving and I'm going out into the hollows and stuff back in the more remote areas, it's hit and miss, even with the big monster um, um, cellular service we have these weird wireless access points. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if you could. Wonder if you could get your own signal booster and put in your place that would boost the signal. Um, because I've never used them. I don't know how they work. But I'm getting ready. My husband and his dad and my father-in-law. I shouldn't say and his dad. Like my husband and my father-in-law are meeting with my brother-in-law. They're all having lunch tomorrow, and I told my husband, I said, drop it in your dad's ear that I'm about ready for new technology. So it's not brand spanking new, but what he does is he'll get um, laptops and stuff at state surplus, which is surplus property for state governments, and they always have a lot of laptops and stuff. And he'll get them and he'll update them, clean them out, and update them. Usually give me one or two. I've got them stacked everywhere now. So um, there's still a few things going on around Charleston. The regattas obviously is over. It was over. That was the 4th of July. My notes are old. We still got the state fair coming up next month in Hinton or in Lewisburg. That's August the 4th, which is just like, what, next week? No, the week after. Holy cats, it's almost August. It's coming up, and the West Virginia Hot Dog Festival is coming up next weekend. See, this is just the 21st. I keep it in my head that this is the 28th, and it's not. It's the 21st. So the Hot Dog Festival is coming up on the 29th. The Mad Fest at Ridenhour Lake is coming up on the 29th as well, and the Water Festival in Hinton is coming up. Now, one of the things I kind of wanted to touch on, I know it's not homestead really, and it's not Holstein House really, but it's something I've been hearing on the some of the YouTubes that I'm following. Hunter says the wife and the two youngins left to Meemaw's. Internet was amazing whilst they were gone. Well, the more things you have, it's like a big water hose. The more outlets you have, the less power you have. But one of the things that I've noticed on some of the YouTube channels that I'm following is a shift in, and I'm not bad mouthing any of these diet or exercise plans. I'm just saying, look, fads, FADS, fads. The carnivore lifestyle, eating lifestyle, or diet lifestyle, or whatever phrase you want to say. I have seen it come up and everybody's doing it. Then I see these little, well, I went off of it today. Well, I went off of it today. Well, I got back onto it and I can tell the difference and I need to get back onto it. And well, I've been off it. And now we're starting into a fasting. Oh, we want to fast. We want the intermittent fasting is now a thing. And so we intermittent fast 16 hours a day, and I only eat whatever I want in this 8-hour window every day. And I'm going to fast for 36 hours, and then I'm only going to come back on with broths, 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 and water, and maybe fruit infused waters and things. But I'm not, I'm fasting. I'm doing people. It's the same with exercise. We've gone from, and I'm lifting weights and I'm walking and I'm rucksacking and I'm doing all these, this, that, and into this 75 hard. I'm going to do this for 75 days. 75 days. I want to do this every day. Do you understand what's happening? This is all of this ends up being, these are fads and ways to build up viewers, and look what I'm doing, and yeah, I'm not saying they don't want to get healthy, and I'm not saying that they're not good foods and exercise. What I'm saying is, if you sit back and you watch enough, you see all of these things cycle through. Then they fall off and something new takes their place. But the one thing that has stayed consistent is fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, good meats, good lean meats. Now, you can debate on the type of oils, whether you're using animal fat, vegetable fat. They're starting to find that some of these fruit seed oils that they have to really, force into an oil are not that healthy for you. If you stay true to nature, I think you're going to be healthier than all of these weirdness fad diets. I get that there are some people who have significantly higher levels of education than I do, who promote a lot of this stuff. Yes, Philippine Nomad says our main challenge avoiding junk food, especially snacks. Yeah, because if you're looking, uh, when people look far enough back, they say, well, ancient man used to only live on whatever meat. hmm Ancient man didn't have uh, healthy water. Ancient man didn't count his steps. Ancient man didn't carry a rucksack. Ancient man might not have eaten for 5 or 6 days if he couldn't kill something, but they did eat grains. Ancient man did eat grains. How do you think we ended up eating them to begin with? The grains that we eat today are not the same thing that humans ate 200 years ago. The grains are different. They've been modified, and the way we put them together has been changed. And we've gone from a system where the most wealthy people had all of the cakes and the desserts and the fun and the great and the banquets and the huge, to where every day, for the most part, anyone living in a first and second world country has access to almost any food that they want. Meaning, not necessarily a specific type of apple, but you have fruits, you have vegetables, and you have meats that are safe to eat all year round. Ancient man didn't have foods that were safe to eat all year round. Are we going to start a fad of I'm only going to eat once a week during the winter, and I'm going to turn my heat off? And cattail roots and blood bone soup, no one is eating that stuff. Hunter, that's what Hunter says. Hunter says, and cattail roots and blood bone soup, no one is eating that stuff. You're right. If people today tried to eat the way people did 150, 200 years ago, I have to watch saying 150 because I forget that 150 years ago was, still in the late 1800s, and I'm kind of talking before that. I'm talking before that. You take if you take honestly, you want to look at a good. Now, I'm going to stay in the United States for this because this is what I know. This is where I am. I don't. And Mike, if you want to chime in, that's fine. You're more than welcome. Um, if you look at the Amish and the Mennonite, more so the Amish, the way they eat, that is closer to the way we in the U.S. ate, a couple hundred years ago, than this carnivore diet is. Because, and if you want to eat that, that's fine. I'm just generically talking about fads. Let me take that dumb banner off. I forget that those things are on there. 3/4 of the way through, and I forget the banner's on there. Some of the fads are well intentioned. Okay, somebody just starts talking about it, it catches on. Some of the fads are just like any other marketing effort. They are someone wanting you to keep clicking, buy my stuff, use my affiliate codes, buy this book, come see me at this event, pay me. and we're all allowed to make money. I have nothing against it. I just don't get on the bandwagons like that. Mike says also away from home, eating out in other people's meals. Yeah, yeah, eating out. And Mike also says I ate a lot of beef liver and bone broth this week. And there's nothing wrong with that. Beef liver, bone broth, that's 100, 200 years ago. People ate liver and bone broth. And we've gotten away from that. And the industrial revolution has done some wonderful things for us as humans. We're living longer than ever. Mike says the Amish got everything going for them now. We need to go back to the land and dump all the unnecessary crap. Yes, Mike, but we can't. There is no way, there's no way this world is going to go back as a world population. The cities aren't going to do it. Most of your communities aren't really going to do it. People aren't going to give up their air conditioning. They're not going to give up their safe water. Even to do your own filtering for your own water systems, you got to have stuff outside of what like the Amish had. You can't just go find sand and charcoal. You got and most people aren't going to be making their own charcoal. There are a few people going to do it and try it, but they're not going to keep doing it. So I guess this week I've seen it a couple of different times, and it's just stuck on my mind, the fad diets and fad exercise routines. We all need exercise. I need it more than a lot of people. My weight is really up. I mean, really up. I'm ashamed. And I need to be walking more. But I stay so busy just taking care of regular stuff by the time I'm just exhausted by the time the day's over. And the time of the morning when I could go out and have a good long walk, it's dark and dangerous. I can't do it. So I don't eat a lot of crap, but I don't get the exercise. So that's the balance, the good food and the exercise. Just cutting out soft drinks. And it's getting to where you're starting to see more and more stories about the different so-called safe artificial sweeteners, getting away from sweeteners, backing off a little bit, trying to tame that sweet tooth a little bit. I have a hard time with that myself. But we really need to cut these things. It used to, we were talking at Bible study during the nutrition. Well, it was after Bible study and before the nutrition program started. It used to be back in my day, get off my lawn. McDonald's was a treat. You didn't eat it 3 or 4 times a day. You didn't eat it 4 or 5 times a week, and you didn't have access to I'll tell you this. Okay, I graduated high school in 1983, and when I was in high school from 1980 to 1983, one of the things that used to happen during break time when you didn't have class and you didn't have to hurry up and get to the next class, one of the programs sold donuts. It was an amazing thing. You buy a powdered donut for 25 cents for a quarter. It was a treat. Nowadays, donut shops, you can get donuts everywhere. If the guy wasn't a pervert, I would use that Jared guy from Subway and talk about walking to my Subway and back. That's a mile each direction. So that's a 2-mile walk every day. I should do that. Finding the time to do it. And then that's the problem. So I'm only saying and bringing these things up because I don't want you following fads. I know there's a lot of folks in the self-reliance communities that are hesitant to talk to their physicians about anything. They don't like modern medicine. They don't like big pharma and all that stuff. You can still talk to your doctor, the one that you trust, your medical professional that you trust, and say, okay, what's with all this stuff? Do I really need, 3 fruits and vegetables and 1 dairy and 1 protein? Or can I mix it up? Can I mix it up through the day? Can I mix it up through the week as long as at the end of a week I've got a decent amount? And it's going to be on an individual level. And I don't want to try to, I don't know if you hear the dog barking or not. There's somebody outside she's barking at. Um, you know, you talk to your doctor about your individual health needs. And don't just assume that these diets are the be all end all. And don't feel guilty because you can't. I know people who have looked at the carnivore diet and just said, there's no way I can afford it. If I eat the stuff that I can afford, as far as the majority of it being meat, it's going to be highly processed junk. And that's not good for you either. So, no, I'm not Dr. Ken Berry, and I'm not wise, and I don't have a PhD, and I don't have all these other mega. I just have a little bit of common sense. And I'm not going to badmouth somebody else who has a little bit of common sense who says, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Philippine Nomad says, same here. I started walking again and have to get out really early to avoid getting ran over, even in our slow neighborhood. McDonald's is expensive now over here. Costs almost as much as a decent sit-down meal in a restaurant around town. It does here too. It does here too. I can go to McDonald's and get let's just say their meals, because they're meals. They got the drink and the fries and the hamburger. $25. It's crazy. It's crazy. So but everything it has increased in price again. I was at Walmart getting things picked up for no, yesterday I was at Walmart because I had to go to Walmart, not for the church stuff. But I was looking at the price of meats, and there was a point there. Not it hasn't been too long ago that most of the meats in my home canning was purchased $2 or under a pound. You can't get it now unless you're getting chicken leg quarters. Here yesterday at Walmart, and I don't like Walmart, but it's a mile from my house. I have to start calculating time and fuel and wear and tear on the vehicle and all that stuff when I go further than that. So it was the most reasonable priced meat, ground beef, which I'm so tired of ground beef, was $3.47 a pound, I think, on marked down with the yellow tag that they're trying to move it away. Mike says their value meals are no longer available. Yeah, they're not valuable anymore. It's like the dollar store. It's now $1.25 store. But yeah, I mean, meat has gotten really expensive, and people's incomes have not changed to reflect that for the most part, unless they're trying to take a second job. And it's just crazy. And I don't want people who come across my videos to feel like they're being bullied into, if you're not on the latest greatest exercise program, if you're not fasting 36 hours before you have breakfast, or you're not fasting and then going into broth only, and if you're not fasting for 10 days. That one girl I saw, and I like her for her recipes and stuff like that, she was talking about doing like a 10-day water fast. That can't be healthy in the long run. That can't be healthy as a regular routine thing. People get sick and stuff. I get that. But as a regular routine activity to fast nothing but water for 10 days in the summer, and she's in the southern part of the United States. I want to say Louisiana, but she may be in Mississippi, one of the deep south states. That's where she is. It's blistering hot down there this time of year and humid, and that just can't be healthy. It can't be healthy for your heart. Back in my day, again, I'll go back again and say this. They used to take stimulants to kill your appetite, and it also destroy your heart. I didn't do that. I was never brave enough for that. The closest I did was coffee and cigarettes. I mean, that was bad enough, but it cannot be good for your body to do that. And again, if we go back to before big business, people used to, go without food for days. Yeah, they only lived to be about 40. So let's not go overboard with that. Am I saying that fasting is wrong? No. People do fast. People fast for religious reasons. People can fast for, health reasons, but I don't think a 10-day fast is something you should be on the internet prompting and telling people, "Oh, this is great. Yeah, you lost a lot of weight. You probably lost a lot of muscle too." Let's use all of the sciences, and let's not just pick and choose some of the sciences and focus on them. Let's use them all and weigh out the benefits of all of them and see where we fall, because my family history has a lot of heart disease on my mother's side. Some of these diets could be detrimental to me for that reason alone. My weight is not helping it either. I get that. It's, you only see from here up. My weight is where it is, and it's not good. I know that. Asthma, bronchitis, lung diseases, things that we have no control over, like that, some of these diets could really hurt you. And if you think, well, it's not going to bother, I'll just eat more meat and it'll make everything better because all of these amino acids and proteins and minerals and things, are going to be great and they're going to fix it. No, it doesn't work that way. It might make some things better. Now, our rheumatologist used to tell us that if we cut back on red meats, the body inflammations would go down. My husband has psoriatic arthritis, and she would say if you'd stop eating so much red meat, you wouldn't have the flares. I kind of don't know that that's right. Now, this was several years ago, because we've got people, who we're seeing evidence that it's not the red meat, it's the grains. Well, it used to be eggs were bad for your health, then they were good for you, then they're bad for you, now they're good for you again. They're the perfect food again. Our grandparents, those raised in the, let's say my grandfather was born in 1906, let's say from the 1900s to the 1950s, people of that generation ate 2 or 3 times a day, and that was it. They didn't have candy, they didn't have chips, they didn't have snacks, they didn't pop. They drank water or coffee, milk. I mean, people badmouth milk. Oh, you shouldn't drink milk. Oh, stay away from milk. Stay away from dairy. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is in combination with everything else. And do I think there are some health issues that people have that are related to the foods they're eating? Maybe, these sensitivities, the gluten sensitivities and things that we see. Maybe it's not the gluten, maybe it's the pesticides. I get that. But I think we each individually have to figure out what's bothering us instead of going and jumping on these fad diets. And then again, I'm so not a fan of this high pressure used car salesman bullying type language that people tend to use. That I have withdrawn from activities in some other pages and groups and things. I still look in from time to time to see what conversations are and to talk to people maybe, but I'm not actively involved in them anymore because I just can't support that kind of, shame on you because you don't eat the way I do. Shame on you because you don't exercise the way I do. Shame on you because you don't choose to live like I do. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. Oh, I need to wind down. I have, Mike says the yo-yo dieting cycle of losing and gaining weight frustrated a lot of people. Yeah, it's going to, but we're always going to do that. There are very few people who can be the same weight today as they were 20 years ago, whether it's a good weight or bad weight. Hormonal changes, illnesses, things like that. They do affect us. What can you get down to where can you be, can you function on less than 500 calories a day? I mean, eventually that's what you're going to try to do. And not you, Mike, but because you get healthy, whatever healthy is for you and your body and your lifestyle, get healthy. I know I have got to up my game on walking. I'm really struggling with walking any distance now. Some of it I blame on my back. Some of it I blame on my shoes because I'm in the habit of wearing these squishy flip-flop thingies because or sandals. They're not flip-flops, but they're sandals because they ease the pain in my back, but they're killer on me to walk any distance, to walk through the house, walk in the yard, walk around, the grocery shop and that kind of things. They take the pressure off my back because I don't have that jarring of, because I have the deteriorating disc like a lot of people do, but I don't have that jarring banging when I walk. There's a squish, there's a shock absorber in there. But they're not good for long distance. They make my hips bother me and they make my legs bother me. Then I've got the lymphedema. Then I've got the other things. A real Coca-Cola. Hunter says I'm still waiting for drugs to be back in snacks. A real Coca-Cola. Sorry, Hunter. Yeah, that's one way to keep thin. I guess that, back in the 20s, I guess that was one of the ways those flappers could dance. I'll share that one. I read it, but I'll share that with people because that's just hysterical. That's really hysterical. I'm not real good, obviously, I know how to put the comments up. I just forget. I'm sorry. Oh, look. There's a dirty bird. There's a dirty bird. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's a troll. Do you count that as a troll, Mike and Hunter? I don't even know which one he's coming through on. Probably YouTube. Looks like it's YouTube, I think. Granny's eyes here is no good. But yeah, so I'm going to start winding down because actually I'm a little over the hour mark, and I don't like to do that. Dad's got his INR test today. I'll probably have to go back over there. He's still not walking around very good. I don't like that. I don't like Dad sitting for hours and hours like he's doing. It hurts his hips to get up and move because of the arthritis in his back. But he needs to get up and move to ease it, to make it a little more flexible. The one thing I do want to say, I am so tickled. You guys may or may not. Mike says, I can't walk in the neighborhood except on the street. All the steps, sidewalks, curbs are dangerous and broken. Yeah, the sidewalks aren't well taken care of. I don't really have sidewalks here in my little community. We've got a couple up by the high school and the elementary school for some of the kids to walk back and forth to the bus stop and stuff. But the regular roads here in town, they don't. They're like lane and a half, so they don't even get stripes. We don't even get double line stripes. But let me share this with you real quick before we go. I am so tickled. You guys know, if you've been listening to me any amount of time, that I've been hyperactive at the church and in the church fellowship hall and trying to get community events there in the church. Well, we've had a few series. Come on, wake up over here. Oh, darn it, stupid. There we go. We've had a series from our local university, which is West Virginia State University, not WVU, the Mountaineers, not them. West Virginia State, it's a historical Black college land grant school. But anyway, they have an extension office there that they're trying to grow. And we had a young lady come in for 6 weeks. Twice a week, she was coming in with a nutrition program. That went real well. But anyway, so then now we started a container garden. We did a couple container garden series, and it's the same office, different girl. She brought her supervisor in. Turns out I worked with the supervisor back in the late 90s at the West Virginia Division of Labor. And so John, we got to talking, and they brought a flyer of some of the workshops, ag workshops that they've done in the past. And they're going to start doing regular once a month workshops out of our fellowship hall. We can't start until I think it's November. Before because they do them on the first Wednesday, and our 2 first Wednesdays are taken with our AARP is doing some workshops. But these are some of the topics that they have done in the past and will offer as we agree or kind of pick and choose. Building a gourd birdhouse. Okay, big hairy deal there. Vegetable cornucopia table pieces. Now remember, the idea is to get folks in the building and to share the community, to share the fellowship hall with the community and become a better community participant as far as the church. And all of these things are kind of funneling into ag and self-reliance. Wreath making for Christmas, but that's, you get a lot of ladies in and get involved and get connected and get to talking. Planting plans, create a garden calendar. What does that sound like? Some self-reliance. Garden plant seeding, transplanting, plant health and pesticide management, planting a community garden. Now, that's one I'd love to do, but we don't have any space unless the elementary school will agree to it. They're willing to start talking to the elementary school about doing that. Community garden care and management, community garden table banquet. And I know that kind of sounds a little socialist, but if it gets people involved in gardening, gets them to do a few of their own, yay. Proper canning and food preservation, salsa. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm way over time here. I am also pushing John, who is the manager of the program. Can we get a certified, I forget what the actual title of the certification is, like a master canner, master food preservation. The National Food Preservation used to do this years ago, and local extension offices do it here and there. I'd like to rebuild that, to revive it here in West Virginia, and I'd like to start with his extension office in my church fellowship hall. That's what I'd like to do. So you guys find your tribe and build community. Yes, very good. Wait, Karen management? What? No, not Karen. Care. Care. Hunter, I'll leave managing Karens to you. I don't do Karens. But yes, Mike, find your tribe and build community. That's what I'm trying to do. More the build the community part, because I think if I'm helping to build the community, the tribes will either come together or go that way. But yes, I'm really excited about it. Plus, it helps, and this is a little selfish, but it helps keep the church active, because care and management. Keep the church active, keep people coming into the church. I don't want it to sound like it's about money, but it'll help us keep the bills paid. And if it helps us keep the bill paid, we can keep the doors open for the church. If we can keep the doors open for the church, we can keep the fellowship hall open for the community. It sounds beautiful, and if you guys pray to the Lord, I would ask you to pray that it continues to work. But guys, I've got to wind this down. Dad'll be needing his test pretty soon. And the matter of fact, there he is calling me now. Let me show you so you know I'm not lying. He's calling to see what we're going to do. So I'm going to finish it up here. I appreciate Mike and Hunter and all you guys for stopping in. I'm going to close it out now, and we will catch you on Tuesday. As far as I know, we'll have another live on Tuesday. I look forward to seeing you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
So there you have it. Post your comments, do all that boosting, liking, sharing, thumbs up, and stuff that helps spread the word and poke the algorithms. Follow me on most of the big social media platforms and look for my name, Robin Holstein, or Holstein House. Till next time, bye-bye.